Greetings to you viewers. My name is Pastor Yvonne Chipindu. God told us that you shall not have any other gods except Him, except the King of Kings. You know, when we are preaching about money, I am not against money. I know your children need to go to school. I know you need to put food on your table, and you can get it through money. But what I am against is your motive. Because many of us, when we are praying, instead of praying earnestly to God, we are diverting our prayers for money. So what I am saying is, it's not bad, child of God, to have money. But what I am against is for you the whole day, whenever even you go to the mountains, you are praying for money. You want a car. You want a house. This is what I am against. I am saying, just according to the word, that when we seek God, He knows we want all these things. Remember, the scriptures told us that He has given us all things because He knew that you will need money. He also knew that you will need this dominion. So He has given us all things. But munhu ari kutamba nebasa ndiwe because hausi zvekuita. When you pray, when you have a good relationship with your God, then could God decide wakava. And then what will God do in return? Then He will give you money. So child of God, I am not against money. Get me right. But motive yako ndo yandisiri kuda. Yakuti uri kuenda ku church as if you are going to a pharmacy. Because when you go to a pharmacy, it is only when you need paracetamol. When you don't need paracetamol, the pharmacy doesn't matter. So, and this could out even that motive. Yekuda mwari because ukuda mari. When He gives you, you run away from Him. When He gives you, you no longer have time for Him. We need to continue to read how should we grow our spiritual men. I need to continue from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 6. Let no one delude and deceive you with empty excuses and groundless arguments for these sins. For through these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of rebellion and disobedience. And if you remember in the book of Revelation, when we spoke about the wrath of God, we learned that it is when God removes His presence from you. So when He removes His presence from you, it means that you are spiritually dead. So that's when you cannot attract things to come to you. I need to continue to read verse 7. So do not associate or be sharers with them. So don't befriend all this what we have read above. For once you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. Lead the lives of those native born to the light. So now the scriptures is telling us that yes, we are in church because we have believed in Jesus Christ. And when we believed, that's when we were transferred from the kingdom of darkness into the marvelous light of God, into the Son, Jesus Christ. So now the scriptures is telling us that, so now because you have received Jesus Christ, you have been born again, you need to live according to the light, which is according to Jesus. Verse 9, for the fruit now, the effect, the product of the light or the Spirit consists in every form of kindly goodness, uprightness of heart, and trueness of life. So now the fruit of this light now is shown when you have a good heart, when you love, when you forgive. This is what verse 9 is telling us. And try to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in and have no fellowship with the fruitless and deeds and enterprises of darkness. So now the scriptures is telling us that in order for these spiritual men to grow, take no part and have no fellowship with the world. Remember, John told us that do not love the world or anything that is in the world. And he goes on to explain that which is the world. He said the love of money, greediness. Okay? So now be against the love of money. Because we all know, you have been told, or you have read, or you have heard that money makes everything go round. But now you need Jesus. When you have Jesus, all things will come running to you. So, child of God, you need not to take part of the evil side, but instead expose and reprove and convict them. For it is a shame even to speak of or mention the things that practice in secret. But when anything is exposed and reproved by the light, it is made visible and clear. And where everything is visible and clear, there is light. So now the writer is just telling us that whenever there is light, the darkness, we all know that it disappears. So children of God, like I always say, you don't need to be a mixed bag. It's either you are on the light side or you are on the darker side. But we all know that we need to choose light. So as long as we live, in order for this spiritual man to grow, we need to live in light. We need to live according to what Christ has done. Child of God, if you go to the scriptures tells us that an unspiritual man does not receive the gifts of the Spirit of God, for they are spiritually discerned. So that's why I was telling you to move away from loving money, from worshiping money, for you need the Spirit. And how do you get this? The blessings of God when you descend spiritually. So what you only need is to make your spiritual grow, and then you are able to discern the gifts of the Spirit, and then you are able to inherit the inheritance which God gives us, and you are able to rule and have dominion even over money. So child of God, if you have enjoyed this message, don't hesitate to like, subscribe and share. Until we meet again tomorrow, as we are still continuing talking about spirituality. Stay blessed.